See something similar in stage 3 as we head into playdate number 2. A lot is still left to be answered, and this is where we answer it. This is, I guess this is, you know, the second part of the puzzle for Order. Can they be consistent in APAC South? We saw them in the domestic league, not that great. Elevate, not off to a great start in APAC South. There's so many questions that still lie and still need to be answered, but this, I guess, Oregon will probably be the best way for Elevate to, at the very least, get their head back in the race.
Yeah, and look, to touch on that too, the veto certainly was an interesting one that, you know, Oregon got through. There was one time that Order considered themselves the best Oceanic team on Oregon. It just seemed like it was their strong suit, but it's been a really steep descent down the mountain of that, and to have it now played against Elevate, I don't know whether that's just maybe Order feeling brave, like they've got back on top of their issues, or maybe they've spotted something, I don't know. But it certainly is going to be a big risk, but sometimes that's what it's about. You take those big risks and they can pay off.
It's funny because it's not the Order we'd expect to be taking the risks. This is the Order we'd be expecting to be playing things a little bit safer, with Derp now coming in as the coach. I think the boys prefaced it perfectly, saying that, you know, Order really have completely changed who we've known them to be. God, for as long as I can remember, they've thrived in the chaos, and recently over the last 3 play days, 1 in APAC South, 2 in OCN, we have seen a very different team. Now, what will we see as we head into this one? That's the real question. That's what remains. Are Order going to bring that spice that we've always known them to have, or are they going to be playing this safe? Some pretty spicy operator picks. I'm a little bit upset that Clash gets taken out. Hello, Blitz. Oh, what is this from Elevate? What is this lineup?
Yeah, look, this is a bit cheeky. I really like it too because it's paired with the Finker. So, of course, with that Finker boost, you're going to have the extra speedy Blitz. And that's just a bit of a menacing thing to deal with, honestly, as well as the Dokkaebi. The lineup from Elevate here is, I guess one way to put it would be a frustrating one for the defense to deal with. So, yeah, look, I think this is going to be an exciting first round for Order in terms of how can they get this read on what Elevate's brought. And also, I'm really, really excited to see exactly how Elevate utilize this lineup, because it's certainly a lineup that could signal an early rush, maybe.
I'd love that. I'd absolutely love that. I pray that that's what we may well see, but I guess, you know, we'll wait and see. We've got a fair bit of util denial from Order's side, with obviously the Wamai and the Jaeger. You know, they'll be able to slow things down at the very start, but they are all starting from construction. Raven, this may well be that push that we were expecting to see. They're getting pretty comfortable in blue early on, but the question will remain, where is all the attention going to go?
Yeah, Gone 6 in hand as well. Yellow ping on the door. Here comes the boost. Here comes the push. Napier just goes in. He's going to fully take this elbow. This is beautifully executed by Elevate. He's down to the smoke. This is just fantastically executed. Order here to stand up though, Manic.
Yeah, they've at least found one back into this, maybe even a second if they can kind of hold these lines. But this is the thing, it's all but crumbled on the corner of blue, and I don't know whether they've been able to reinforce that area either, so it's still completely open. I'm loving this pressure from Elevate, now starting to come in from the rear tower, the rear stage, sorry, tower stairs. There we go, we got there in the end. I think I just threw too many words at it, but still, this is the thing right now, is Order can hold it. They can find a couple more kills, it might make things interesting, but now Elevate start to take control, and there comes Finker. I mean, this is just utter chaos. Elevate thrive in this, but Order, they're still holding on, and that's the main part of this.
Yeah, and that boost just really saving Onigiri there. I mean, he was in a bit of fire and lost health quickly, but it held him on and just in the game. So still 3v2, so much time on the board, and now it's all on Specker's shoulders. That's a beautiful shot onto Onigiri though. He's got 2 more to find here, Manic, but again, 90 seconds to hold this out. Sapper's going to attempt to plant.
C4 in hand for Specker. It's going to be too late. He might get the kill. No! Oh, it sticks onto the only place, the storage, and now Specker tries to push in. He's rotated back around elbow, but look at this, Elevate have read this perfectly. Drones are up, but he still finds the kill. He's bringing this back. Sapper whiffs and gives Specker a moment, an opportunity, and he's going to go for the push right now. He has to go for the kill. Absolutely loving this from Specker, but Sapper is behind the shield. It acts as a double-edged sword, and what a way to kickstart Oregon and play day 2.
Yeah, man, what a way. You have to love that from, I mean, both teams, right? So with Elevate just coming out for that quick push to take the elbow through bunker, it was such a really solid, ballsy play from them with the blitz, and it paid off. On top of the fact they got that map control, cleared out that position, they took out the smoke player, which is a really instrumental, crucial late round player on that kind of defense. But props to Order, because they stood up in that mid round and they brought it back to even be somewhat salvageable.
I mean, this might be the advantage of Order in the new way that we see them. You know, everything just feels a little bit more calculated, right? It doesn't feel as sporadic and, I guess, out of hand in some circumstances. So it gives them an opportunity in that round in particular to kind of calm themselves and compose, even though they're getting pressured from rear tower and rear stage. My goodness, I'm going to keep saying rear tower. That's not going to end well, I can tell you right now. But I think that Order composed themselves decently, considering how much pressure Elevate had from the get-go. You know, you see a blitz in your face, that surely just indicates utter threat to your side. So now I guess for Order, it's a good opportunity to reset here, calm things back down. They've moved away from basement, which I guess is probably the talking point here. Move straight over to dorms and focusing on a different site.
Yeah, always good to put those kinds of rounds just in the back of the mind, you know, back to the other side of the book, so to speak. Just kind of go through your sites and fix it from there. But yeah, good signs from both teams early here, and a really strong statement from Elevate. Obviously they got, I wouldn't say embarrassed, but they did get absolutely stomped last week. Yep. And that was quite a surprise. So to see them come out on a strong foot is always good.
Could be a promising sign for things ahead for Elevate. Again, APAC South has just been absolutely insane in terms of how competitive it truly has been. And so resilience is really, you know, a #1 priority for nearly any team here. You cannot afford to let one play day affect you, regardless of whether it's the first or the last. You're always going to have work to do. I do like that hold from Bailey. The live or die play, it looks like he's actually starting to fade away a little bit more, but those Rotero drones, man, they just dissemble everything that you're trying to hold.
Yeah, quite strong and a really good way to clear utility without really being in danger. So, of course, they've cleared that Vulcan shield now out of trophy. Angry X ready to pounce and take that. So already the setup is quite good from Elevate here in the first half of the round. You see Closet already has been hard breached as well. So they really have done a fantastic job of surrounding Order's defense. And it's just about really working these positions. If they manage to get a pick here, which they do off the back of a fantastic nade from Onigiri, this has just been a really clinical attack so far from Elevate.
This is the Elevate that we knew in stage 1, the one that terrorized APAC South from start to finish, and it looks like they're going to be doing it again, finding a second kill. Onigiri is an absolute menace on the Finca. And Order have not had a response so far in this round. They're looking for anything that they can be given. This is the thing with Elevate. They will suffocate you until there is nothing left.
That they will. Something else that's really concerning, Nate's now all out of toxic bades, so that's the last real line of defense here for Order to slow down Elevate. Now it really is just kind of coming down to holding these positions and trying to get the picks on entry, but it's just so well surrounded from Elevate. They've got 30 seconds to execute here. They've got 2 people man advantage. This is all stacked up for Elevate.
Oh, Angry looking for the first point of contact. Nice trades coming out. Nate holds strong from Pit. He might be able to find a third if DCH does overextend. But just like that, it's back into a 2 versus 2. They're going to be able to isolate Specker at the back of dorms here. He's going to be careful. DCH finds the kill. And it's all on to Nate in a 1v2 as he approaches Bricks, trying to find an opening, but he cannot. And once again, Elevate. I mean, man, what a start to this match they've had.
Yeah, it has been a really good start from Elevate. And just, I think what's really important for me that's standing out is it's been really strong and confident and very methodical as well. Like, they're really getting through the processes of these attacks quite cleanly, in particular in the early rounds. I mean, the laundry defense, sure, they used that kind of blitz Finca combo, but that attack on Dorms just then was beautiful. That first 90 seconds was just exactly how you would want your team to be able to approach those kinds of attacks.
Back down to the basement for Order, where they'll hope they'll find their first round of success. So far, every single round, it has started off in devastation. First off, losing the smoke in that first round, which I believe was Nate, and then compounding a double player. Not a double player, a double kill, if I will. Onigiri running amok in that second round. Order need to tidy up the start of these rounds. Try to. I mean, I'm not even going to speculate as to what they need to try to do, but it is really looking quite dire. Elevate are really grabbing this game by the horns, so they're not giving Order a hell of a lot of respect or time to do what they want.
You mentioned the impact of Onigiri as well, just in his first couple of rounds. Something that was really bad for Elevate last week is he probably had one of the worst competitive games I think I've seen Onigiri have. He went 3-10, so he was -7 on KD, and just never really got into the game. It was just a really unfortunate thing to see, and that's just something that's been so good for Elevate for the last couple of stages. The strength of Onigiri and Napier in particular on the fragging rolls.
Anytime I see someone doing something sweaty and Order is in the server, I will almost put my house on the fact that it's Nico.
Yep.
He consistently is just looking for different angles, and of course I guess that's not as much of an uncommon angle, but certainly in competitive play, if that is not droned, it could well be a free kill, but he fades away for now. Elevate really doing a great job at their due diligence in the early starts of these rounds.
Yeah, really thorough droning and just not overextending this time around. And of course, it's very different to round one that we saw, their first attack onto the Laundry bomb site. But of course, they also had a different lineup. This is certainly a much more structured affair, and they're treating it so, which is really good to see. And I guess importantly for that attack, it means they haven't given anything away early to Order, even though there was that kind of early presence from Nico. Elevate have now effectively flushed that out, pushed Order back to site. You can see there on the outlines, Order is now all down in the basement, kind of locked into their positions. It's giving Elevate the remaining 90 seconds to just finish off that process. Open the hard breach sections, clear utility, and kind of just get ready for that final execute.
Sure to be something chaotic, there's no doubt about it. A few nades, all things considered. Angry and Onigiri will be able to lay waste as they need to. DCH with the Rotero drones getting to work. This is the big problem right now, is they're probably going to be able to deny a lot of that anchor utility that Order are trying to fall back onto with the deployable shields, Vulcan shields even. So they're going to be careful here. Onigiri could find himself another with the nade, but Specker falls away just in time.
Yeah, Jack Daddy, though, undetected. He's on the upper level of these stairs. This could be a beautiful bait, and it is. He's going to get the opening pick to Onigiri. This is a huge little opening to the round here. 40 seconds to go. Order taking that man advantage. But again, this Rotero droning has just been fantastic from Elevate, getting the info and clearing utility. But this is where they need to pounce. Order, again, they're sitting back in these positions. Elevate, time to make a move.
They are in all sorts of problems right now for Elevate. They've got to try to essentially flush through only 2 choke points, Laundry and Freezer. There's no other way for them to get through. All of the walls are still reinforced from Freezer, so it is going to have to be a flush. They're going to hope to God that they hit their shots, and it's not starting out in that fashion whatsoever. DCH will get absolutely eliminated. Nico with a very nice peek to close things out, but wow, I mean, that was just so much better from Order.
Yeah, a lot better. I mean, there's a couple of ways you could read that, right? I mean, Order just in general looked quite good that round, but also Elevate, they won the first round really off just like that little rush play they did with the Blitz. It threw Order off guard, it took their smoke out early, it destabilized everything. But when it came down to the structure of that round, Order played that just fantastically. Even I love the little play of Specker kind of baiting on the lower tower stairs while Jack Dad was still above. And for whatever reason, Elevate didn't redrone that in any way. They felt confident that all players were down. But no, Jack Daddy had done a little sneaky play, and it really worked out. And it started that chain of Order getting the advantage and winning the round.
I guess that's the disadvantage when early on you kind of get an idea for what you want to do as an attack, but also, it is the advantage if you can set things up properly. However, there, it was Onigiri on his lonesome at rear stage, and there was no, like you said, there was no droning or additional droning on that side of the map because all the attention was across toward Freezer and Laundry. And unfortunately, the second Onigiri just gets absolutely obliterated. The Rotero drones cannot find the Electric Claw on that freezer wall. It just makes life near impossible to get through. And thus far, I mean, much, much better from Order. But like you said, I think that it's, you know, it's kind of a bit of both in a sense. So round number 4 will be quite telling, as Order are not opting to go to dorms. They're actually going straight to meeting. I really like the way that, you know, the sights kind of shift on Oregon so much, because it was, for such a long time, we saw dining as a strong point, but now meeting seems to be quite a favoured site for the Oceanic region.
Yeah, just in general, this site's, you know, it's a bit of a good one to hold. Kind of forces teams to have a more thorough take of tower usually. It's an open stage, and that's not necessarily that comfortable either. But yeah, you're right. It's a good thing about Oregon. A lot of these sites are viable. Elevate really wasting no time at all. They've taken in this early lobby kind of garage control and getting some really nice line of sight through meeting. It's going to make it just a bit tougher for Order players to hold positions. And Angry X has found that opening pick onto Nate.
Yeah, it's crazy. Nate's been the opening death 2 rounds in this game, yet he's still having such a large impact, so he's definitely stood up when called upon. But this is just a much, much better round from Elevate. Order looking a little bit lost. Not like a chicken with its head cut off, running around quite sporadically on site for Specker, but, you know, that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. He's not being pressured from behind. He just has to worry about lobby for now. That's probably all going to change in a minute or so. This is a much, much better start for Elevate.
A really great split push here from Elevate as well. Like, there's a clear amount of pressure.
God.
Man, that is a fantastic nade. Elevate's just been full of these beautiful nades in this match so far. But to the point I was making with this split push, you know, there's been a very clear amount of pressure coming from lobby side, but at the same time also from dining. So it's meant that Order have just kind of been stuck in the middle here, and especially with losing players, that's a lot of map control to cover. Like, this spawn site is quite spread, and it's clearly wreaking havoc.
Yeah, it's all under Specker. He's seen some pretty outrageous things from him before. He won't be able to get past the second hurdle. It's on Aguirre to put the nail in the coffin, and, you know, little bit concerning for Order. Obviously, the talk coming into this, Raven, was very heavily about Elevate's win record on this map and how comfortable they are. Order just don't look to be punching to the level at which you would hope, heading to, I would call this a home map advantage for Elevate.
Yeah, it's hard not to call it that, honestly. As has been highlighted a lot, they just have such a strong win percentage on this map, and it's proving fairly true right here. You know, they're up 3-1, could have been 4-0. I mean, there was a couple of things in that laundry defense where if Elevate just got a couple of picks here and there, it might have really opened things up. Hard to say, but at the end of the day, between the two teams, Elevate definitely looking like the stronger outfit. Yep. And we're seeing again this blitz rotating in. We saw it devastating in round 1 on a laundry attack. So yeah, super keen to see how they implement this for this Dorms attack.
Certainly some damning stats around Oregon for Elevate, and you know, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse by any means, but if it does end up bowing that way, certainly quite a large question mark will surround Order and the decision. So forward moving, Elevate have continued just step after step, and I'm really curious to see how they bring Napier into this one. You know, can be quite devastating in the right area, and it looks like slowly but surely they're going to be careful of this one player that's sitting in Kitchen Hall right now. I think that might be Specker.
This might be a little attic rush here. I'm just very wary because we're seeing both Onigiri and Napier go there. They might gone 6 this window, and Napier might just get straight in and try and go for some picks. There it is, and in he goes.
Well, that's one way to make yourself some space. Surely he doesn't find a double kill. Nico goes absolutely massive. How good is this hold from Order? It could have been all good news for Elevate, but wow, that is a huge moment to step up. And now Elevate are left trying to pick up these pieces, but this blitz is a terrifying addition to the pushes that Elevate are bringing on Oregon. This time, Order do bounce back.
Yeah, absolutely massive for Nico to really stop that in its tracks, because it looked like Napier was very close to landing that second shot. If he managed to get the 2 kills out of Attic, we would have been looking at a very different situation here. So yeah, look, massive props to Nico in particular, but Order in general stepping up to stop that. They've got themselves a really solid man advantage now, and they've still got half the round to kind of hold on. Sapper and Angry X have just really stalled out since then.
Well, they certainly know there's one coming. The white stairs, Specker behind. Angry still finds a kill. At the very least, it's promptly traded out. And Sapper, try and try you mate, you're never going to get past that crossfire. And at the end of the day, what to do, bounce back and around. I think Elevate have somewhat gifted them in a sense.
In a way, yeah. I mean, like, I can definitely see what they tried, and it was close to working out. Maybe not particularly sustainable though. I didn't quite catch whether Onigiri also jumped in to back up Napier. I think he did. But I mean, look, I would definitely say that round could have ended so differently if Napier just managed to get that second kill. I mean, he took out Nate, the smoke, upon first jumping in. If he managed to get the second, I think that just would have been, yeah, very different. But that's the nature of those kinds of plays, right? Very high risk. And it could have had high reward, but it didn't. They fell on their face. Order did a really good job standing up against it.
Look, all things considered, a 3-3 half is not really anything to be concerned about if you are Order. It gives you an opportunity to fight back into this. And then, you know, the real big question comes at the end of the day. What does this look like on Order's attack? Now, you know, we do have to make the comment that Oregon is probably one of the most defender-sided maps in APAC South. You know what? I'm going to go back to stage 2. Yep, 63%. It is the second highest next to Chalet. That's crazy. But Oregon being very, very defender-sided with 5 maps being played. We've got a lot of data to go off there. Maybe this is a little bit more dire than what I originally looked at, especially when you do consider it's Elevate. Like, I don't think I have to really add anything to that.
Yeah, look, you would definitely say that you'd expect like a 4-2 half on the defense in general. A really broad statement here, but just in general, you'd be looking for a 4-2 half in favor of the defense. So certainly this is looking like a really positive attack half from Elevate. Even to be 3-3, I think is certainly a bit of a win in that regard.
Yep.
But look, Order, they have the chance here. Talking about the 3-3, they can certainly salvage something. If they manage to get this round, I think they actually have what it takes to bring it back on the attack, but it's not going to be easy.
I'm really a big fan of how quickly Elevate have gone to town there over in blue. You know, it was Onigiri who really just absolutely flushed out all of the ADSs, and fortunately enough, it's pretty much dispensed of the angle that you'd be trying to hold to support the corner of blue, from blue doorway, I should say. And just like that, Nate will kind of have to Jack Daddy's signal, or likewise, or sorry, on the flip side of things, Jack Daddy will have to wait for Nate's signal and then come to support. But right now, Elevate, minute 40 left on the clock, and kind of feels like they are certainly dotting their I's.
Yeah, and to your point about how swiftly they've kind of taken the map control they've got right here, it kind of counters even just that cheeky little play that happened when we saw this successfully defended by Order a few rounds ago, where they retook kind of up the big tower, up the rear stairs, and Jack Daddy actually ended up getting that opening pick to Onigiri. They can't really do that anymore. Like, Elevate swiftly taking this means this is just no longer rotatable. Jack Dad, Specker, they're both going to have to play around Pillar here, and that's just a really effective way of just ensuring and like jamming their opponents back to site.
This is really clinical from Elevate right now. Jack Daddy is pretty much stuck between a rock and a hard place. He might have been able to get away. I don't even think he's going to be able to. There's no possible way. That is gorgeous from Elevate. If you want to see how to take rear stage, go ahead and just watch the last 2 minutes that Elevate have shown. That is phenomenal work to flush out everyone at Pillar there.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Now 45 seconds to go. They've got that man advantage. They can try and continue to push and pressure. Importantly for Order, they did manage to pull away from elbow and reinforce it off. So that's one little extra piece. And now DCH has been down. So maybe Order have found an opening here, Manic.
Geez, the timing on that as Napier looked back into Electric, gets absolutely blown off the face of the earth. 20 seconds left. It's a 4 versus 3 as DCH, sorry, no, it's actually a 4v4. I'm absolutely losing my mind. Onigiri rotates back around to elbow, but realizes it's been locked off, and now their only choice is to go deep, but Nico holds on to one. Nate peeks around prone, and there's no way you expect the snake in the grass. Onigiri can't find which way to look, and Order tie it out at 3 apiece.
Really good from Order there. They stood up against what was just such a great 2 minutes, I guess, really, for Elevate's attack. Elevate were doing everything right. But yeah, just out of nowhere, they found that opening. They got the down on DCH, the big C4 into Electric Room, and no looking back at that point. Fantastic effort to salvage that half as 3-3.
Oh, what's this? What's this, Nico? Surely it's just a 6 pick. Please.
Hey.
Oh, even worse!
Still very interesting. I mean,
yeah?
Yeah, look, I think that's a good little pick there from Order. Just get that extra info, but I guess in a way to counter, or in a way of counter, we're seeing the Clash now 6 picks as well for Elevate.
Yep, certainly will be a very hard counter for Nico trying to push in there. I think that is an unbelievable read from Sapper. I mean, maybe it's not even a read. Maybe necessarily it's just a comfort pick. I'd actually have to have a look back and see what kind of operators Elevate do bring on this defensive side. I know we've seen the Clash before, so it's not like it's not shock horror by any means, but that is certainly going to slow down any kind of thought of Order progressing and I would say slow progressing with Nico. You know, the Monty kind of allows you to play in behind and slowly but surely flush back the angles. However, this Clash could be the perfect way to counter that.
Yeah, definitely could. And we've seen the strength of Clash so often on this Laundry defense, especially in and around Pillar. It can be quite an annoying thing to deal with because you're often trying to take those fights at long angles. And there's only so many counters that you can really use against a Clash at that kind of range.
Yep.
And Order just don't have them right now. I mean, they have some frag grenades, but that's pretty much it.
You know what I just noticed? It's actually even worse. Onigiri, the Goo Mines, and then we have a look at Napier on the like, this just goes from bad to worse for Order. That is like, these are all hard counters for Nico. Well, not hard counters necessarily, but they certainly work incredibly well against a Monty. Plus, you think about Angry X on the smoke babes, like, it just, honest. Oh no! Oh no! Both players dropped to half HP. My God, Napier, what are you doing in here? Whew. Raven, is he stuck? He certainly is.
Stuck.
Oh, no, wait,
no way.
No way! Napier, you are disgusting! You are absolutely disgusting!
I can't believe he's just managed to handle that situation as he has. Bailey's come to kind of try and save the day here. Probably doesn't realize Spec has been downed. Now with that boost, he's back up. They can kind of 2v1 Napier's position, and he has finally been downed. But he's burned 90 seconds and he's taken out the Monty. That is a big win there for Elevate.
No, what a monstrous play. That is gorgeous from Napier. I mean, you could not ask for more from him in that position, other than maybe just confirming that kill onto Specker. That just completely dismantles what Order are looking to do to start with. And now they're going to have to get a move on. Nate trying to run around and open up these hatches while he still can. Problem is, they've still got Sapper to fall back on. And, I mean, it doesn't really bow all that favourably for me, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And look, Specker's low HP here, so if he's the one that has to try and contend with Sapper in this position, Sapper can kind of just zap him to death. So this is going to just take a lot of management from Order. And on the other hand, they just don't have time management up their sleeves. Look, it's just counting down now to the final 40 seconds of the rounds. They've still got so much ahead of them. In particular, this Clash.
Yep. And he really can just sit back and waste time. Wonder what kind of util they're going to throw at him. They've still got 3 nades up on the board with the flashes. This might be the way that they try to deal with him. In fact, they get a collateral onto Onigiri. Things have kind of collapsed here for Elevate. DCH now finds himself in a corner. This could be perfect. I mean, if he can sit there and wait and buy enough time, Angry X might be able to play for the clutch. 10 seconds left here for Order. Angry X goes aggressive as well. I don't mind that whatsoever. In the chaos, it's Bailey that thrives, and Order bring back a round that seemed all but lost.
Yeah, look, beautiful comeback from Order, and they've just managed to do this so many times, honestly. Like, even on some of those defenses, rounds that looked lost, even though they ultimately lost, they have just been doing a pretty good job at bringing it back into winnable positions. They've managed to do it again and capitalize. Potentially, I didn't quite see where DCH's shots were landing, but potentially that finger boost might have just saved Bailey. I noticed he was boosted at the end. It could have been enough to just allow him to win that gunfight. Either way, incredible stuff from Order here, and they've managed to take the lead.
Very cheeky from Elevate, 2v3 to push aggressively on the back of those Smate Babes. I am a big fan of that from these boys. They could have done some significant damage. That could have been a very, very quick swing back into their favor. But, you know, credit has to go to Order here. And moving forward to a little bit more of a standard approach from Elevate this time, dropping the cap cam. We're seeing the swap out from Sapper, obviously not wanting to sit on the clash behind a shield for an entire round, and has instead opted for the Evil Eyes, which, again, they have just as much use in the later parts of these rounds, especially, I believe he's actually put one just on the other side of Electric Door, which could deny if they're not careful. Maybe I was just seeing things there. No, I was seeing things. That's a shame. Maybe he was just reinforcing in Electric, so potato, you know.
Classic. But no, look, this is just one thing to point out about Elevate's playstyle in particular that's always just so fascinating and nice to watch is they're very adaptive. They will change up their lineups fairly significantly, and they will not be afraid to kind of repeat sites based on doing so. It really heavily changes their strategies. You know, obviously not having the clash is a massive change up in how you're going to play out a site. So I like this from from Elevate, sorry. And I also like this from Order in that they have swiftly pushed in from this west side, cleared out this small tower, dining, pushing these players back. But hello, Onigiri is still hanging out at Armory with the shotgun on this Legion.
And Specker, I mean, he is establishing, you know, the roam watch, the flank watch, if you will. But Onigiri could go completely undetected here. I mean, how often are you really going to be expecting a player inside of Armory, especially with the patience that Onigiri has shown in previous games? He'll wait for the right time, and when he gets that opportunity, boy, does he capitalize.
Speaking of, AP also very aggressive on these stairs. He's just seen Jack Daddy go by, and Jack Daddy was totally unaware. He's going to catch him on the rotate. That's Napier finding that opening kill, and that is the Hibana off the board for Order.
Oh, I mean, just these small little mistakes that are showing the cracks for Order in the armor. Onigiri now in a little bit of strife. I mean, the second he drops down, he's going to be cut off by Specker, so kind of doesn't really bow favorably for him in this position, opening up somewhat of an angle. He could just burn so much time here. It looks like they're really going to try to put a bit of a tension in here, but Bailey catches him on the backside of his own pre-prepped hole.
Yeah, he was a bit of a fish in a barrel there for the Order players, but I mean, thankfully for them, they didn't botch it as much as they botched the attic clear in the previous rounds. And this is a good position for them, 4 versus 4. They've still got just under a minute, and right here, Nico has pushed up very aggressive, getting great amount of intel.
Sapper as well on the other side of things, I guess. He'll be able to sit back and pass that information on until a time at which Order can kind of dismiss of either the vision or the Evil Eye itself. Angry X is in a nice position to be able to push straight through the rotate here. 30 seconds. Still enough time for Elevate to capitulate, as Xenox would say, but Order are looking a little bit pushed back into a corner.
They are, but Napier, he's in a really tricky to flush position, and Sapper has just stood up to take out Nate. 15 seconds to go. It's falling apart for Order here, Manic.
Oh, Nico can't find the diffuser, or rather he can't find the position to put it down. Specker is all but lost in this round, and Elevate, goodness me, that looked all but too clean. They were set up nicely for that last execute, the last 20-30 seconds, and Order could not get enough done.
They just couldn't. Yeah, they really set themselves up. You know, we came into that last minute. I felt pretty confident. It was that 4 versus 4. They'd already really taken up that laundry position with the Monty at that, you know, really getting a lot of info with the shield. but they couldn't just quite tighten up the outer pieces of that attack to make it work. I think one thing in particular was just the slow push on Freezer. If they had managed to kind of flush Napier out of that Freezer corner a bit quicker, they would have earned themselves a lot more freedom in from that laundry section. I think things would have kind of gone a different direction, but not to be.
Yeah.
They'll have to learn from that, and got a tied game, 4-4.
Certainly do. One thing that kind of sticks out to me for Order here, we got 3 hard breaches. So certainly not going to be lacking in that department. And, you know, I guess when you think about how crucial Games Wall and Attic both are to open, I guess Attic less so because you do still have that window, but Games Wall, certainly you want that ability to be able to take that fight through pretty much from the bedroom balcony if you can find a certain angle, but it gives them a nice rotate. Order are very much going to be playing into the hand here. So I'm curious to see how quickly Order do approach the dismissing of this utility from Elevate, or whether it's going to be a bit of a slow burn, because I mean, I would indicate with 3 hard breaches, you wouldn't really want to be playing around too much. You'd want to get that util done early. Otherwise, you'll have 3 players running around waiting to do the right thing.
That's very true. And they've got 4 nades in the pocket to do so, in the hands of Bailey and Nate, the 2 oh no, sorry, Nate is a hard breacher. Ignore me, ignore me. That being said, Maverick often used at the moment as a bit more of an entry player than, you know, the classic hard breacher role.
Yep.
But yeah, to your point, if they are managing to clear off the wall utility in particular, I think this attack should progress pretty well, because yeah, they've got all kinds of hard breach at their disposal, and that really is generally the biggest stall point of a Dorm's attack, is just being able to open these walls in particular.
Okay, not good. Oh, I don't know why. I just assumed Nico had already set his other charge off on the right-hand side of the wall, but at the very least, he does now have Attic open, and it looks like they're going to start to put the pressure into Games Wall. However, Onigiri was trying to hold for a small portion of that. Backs away. Trophy is now not really in possession of Order, but they are in somewhat control of it.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good first opening minute. I think in particular getting that Attic wall open fairly for free. I honestly didn't quite catch if there was any wall denial or like an electric claw or something on there, but at the end of the day, getting that open is always going to just have a little bit of pressure into that player that's playing deep Attic, which is Angry X in this instance, usually is the smoke. And now that they've been able to get games control and the master control, they can really start to work on the game's wall. But there is some Electric Claw activity still in their way. They're setting themselves up for a fairly decent attack here, though.
Looks like they've been able to, at the very least, nullify the attention on the right-hand side. Sapper goes down from a beautiful nade from Bailey. Not sure where that one was from. Onigiri, though, very quick trade and much needed as well. Just alleviates the pressure out on the double window, but it also alleviates all the pressure from that side of the map. Napier coming up on the flank as well.
Yeah, this could be really big from Napier. It's the kind of moment where you really hope Order have their drones set up in place, but this big C4 is going to take out Jack Dad. That's going to give Elevate the man advantage, and as we get into the final 40 seconds, that's Diffuser on the ground. It's going to have to be recovered. Elevate have some beautiful positioning here.
Elevate's mid-round or phase 2 have been phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. Onigiri just taking some pot shots toward Bailey, but I guess it is a double-edged sword. You stick around for too much longer, you won't be living to tell that tale, I'll tell you. What? That's DCH again. Order crumbling here, but Nate might be able to stand strong. Shut down by Angry X. And Bailey has nothing left to say. We have, I'm going to say it, we have a barn burner.
We do have a bit of a barn burner. This is turning out to be quite the barn burner. Look, it's certainly feeling closer than I was expecting this match to be. As soon as I saw it go to Oregon, I was feeling, you know, Elevate 7-3, maybe even a 7-2. And then we saw that opening round with the Blitz kind of rush and Elevate kind of shot out to a 2-0 lead. It really did feel like it was just going to be a bit of an Elevate story, but to Order's credit, they've done a good job. They've brought it back. It's very close. I wouldn't be too surprised to see this go to 5-5, and we're really seeing who can claw in front.
You kind of expect with, you know, as much as we do definitely favour this to kind of go back and forth, still, you just would have to imagine Elevate, home territory, the fact that this is so defender-sided in terms of APAC South. I'm not going to speak for any other league, but certainly for APAC South, this is where the most of the Southeast Asian and Oceanic teams thrive on the defense. So really, with 3 rounds left, you just have to imagine that Elevate will be able to pull through here. And that really does beg the question for Order. What, you know, where are they at right now as a team? We've seen them kind of come and go in terms of their performance so far in the past week, but it could well get better. I believe we just saw a call for a rehost, so we may well be returning, but we'll let you know in a hot second. Or that, or you'll just see our faces either way. We'll play this round out as if it's not to be. Never mind. You're coming back to our faces, you poor sods. And I guess we've got a fair bit to... Thank you for kind of sitting back and relaxing for a little bit. It's been a bit of a wait, but we now have both teams in the server. Now, one thing you're going to notice is the big old BG man has returned to the Elevate roster. Unfortunately, Angry X have had issues with electricity, internet. I don't know exactly what it was. But nevertheless, we've finally got BG Man in the server, and I guess that's probably even more of a terrifying prospect for Order to be looking at. Oh, God.
No.
That's not on.
There's not a way you want to start the round. Yes, sorry. To round out your point, BG Man, he was the main fill-in, you could say, for Elevate in Stage 2. You know, he kind of replaced Angry X in a way, and he was a bit of a beast. Like, he actually showed up and did a really solid job for the team. So I feel like this isn't really that big of an issue for Elevate. I feel like, if anything, it just would have been the downtime. You know, you have to stay focused and eye on the prize. They've got 2 rounds to be able to take this.
All right, time to kickstart back into things. Let's hope that my energy is not dipped. Let's hope that I don't make too many mistakes as we get into this one now. Of course, like you said, really only 3 rounds left for either of these teams to determine a victor. And this is a big one. This is a huge round. Order lose this and slip into match point. Elevate will be absolutely cheering for that. But we are going to be seeing Nico once more on that Monty. Seems to be a bit more of a staple week by week for Order. And he takes a lot of that backside control.
Yeah, that's something that Order are seeming to lean into a little bit more, seeming to prefer to not have to hard drone everything maybe, or just have a little bit more comfort. Nico almost getting a cheeky little shot onto Napier, just exposing himself in the shower footholes that have been made, but yeah, Order really just working the west side here. Now, very importantly, this bomb site that has been chosen by Elevate is kitchen and dining. We were seeing a lot of kitchen meeting held by Order. In general, that seems to be more commonly picked, but no, Elevate, not this time around.
So that surely getting, or coming to terms rather, with the fact that that time is starting to tick out significantly. Nate might be rewarded for this patience. Surely it's just a pixel off. I'm sure he can hear the information, but can't find the timing nor the kill as things slow back down for Order once again.
Yeah, Nico's still just being a pest here. The Toxic Babe not hitting the mark, so he's able to sit comfortably and continue to get this info. Nate is just on the verge of finding this player below. He just sees him at the wrong time. He's still not able to do it. He finally does down him, Manic, but he can't quite finish it off.
No, and no one's in the position to either. So Napier, for all intents and purposes, may well live. Oh, no! Oh, the Giri goes massive. The aggression is absolutely rewarded for Elevate. And Order are left scrambling. Oh my God, what a way to come back into stage 3 for BG Man.
Yeah, quite brutal there, and this is getting worse for Order. That is Specker downs now. It's all on Bailey. Now, he is Finker. He could save Specker right here, but he's going to let him bleed out for now. There we go. So back to the 2v5 situation, but 30 seconds, Mag. This is certainly a very difficult position for Order to salvage.
Unimaginable. Well, so you would expect. Napier has so much control, so much support in showers right now. Sapper's watching down the line. Spectre may have to be the player that goes nuclear here. Brings it back into a 2 versus 4, but still a 2-person disadvantage. Just continues to make matters worse. I'm surprised Bailey could fit through the door with shoulders that wide, but it doesn't make a difference. Napier will close things out, and that is match point for Elevate.
Really strong round from Elevate, and you know, we're talking about the fact that they were going meeting and kitchen, not going meeting kitchen, sorry, I should say. And yeah, looking back at stats from stage 2, it was only ever picked twice across 5 maps. It's really not that commonly played, and it's worked out beautifully.
Yeah. This is a tactical timeout for Order. They feel on the back of that rehost, they have certainly come out of the gates, I would just say tripping and stumbling there. That is absolutely outrageous from what Onigiri has been able to achieve. And now it really just hangs in the balance here. Could this make matters worse for Order? Elevate finding, I would say, somewhat a large amount of confidence taking away from this game. Order is no easy team to defeat in APAC South, but Elevate seem to be doing so. And this will really beg the question. This will just come back for me at the very least, Raven. I can't believe we're back on, oh, not back, we're playing Oregon with Order. You know, I know that you would have prepped this. I know you would have been as prepared as you could be coming into a game against Elevate on this, but God, it's hard to make sense of it when you're looking at this.
It's a bit, but look, Order have done okay. They've kind of gone toe-to-toe with Elevate up until this point. Elevate finally finding some breathing room here after getting the last 3 rounds in a row, mind you. And this is potentially Order staring down defeat here. Elevate able to go back to Laundry Supply. It was last one in round 8. But yet again, classic Elevate, they have changed their lineup a little bit here, bringing out the alibi from Napier. This is in fact the 4th operator he's played in the last 5 rounds.
That's a pretty damning stat, isn't it? If what we were talking about right before the, well, right after the rehost, I should say, while we were waiting to go to break, wasn't true enough, they just continue to show how dynamic their approach is on pretty much every single point. They just continue to change things. And this is just once more a further addition to an already dangerous roster. And Order, what are they really going to bring that can change things up? This is 4 rounds on the trot, by the way, for Elevate. 4 in a row that they've been able to win without a response. That is concerning, to say the very least.
Definitely unfortunate for Order, but it's the lay of the land, so time for them to really dig deep here. Very much the same that we've seen from Order on multiple occasions of their attacks here, where they're just going to be going for this west across clear. Pretty traditional on Oregon. Take through Dining, take up through Master, get the control and just ensure your opponents are all down on site as you kind of continue the process. Now, it seems to be that's the case this time around. We've seen, I think it was Napier as Capcan try to hide in Attic. We saw Onigiri try to hide in Armory as Legion. Very interesting plays, you might say. This time around, seems like they're all just hanging out.
Bit more stock standard for our likings. Kind of, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit disappointed here. I did expect Elevate to be doing some crazy things, but it is good to see that they are starting to tidy things up. The last time Order did approach this site, they found success, or rather, in the first round they found success on this site. They didn't the following. And it was off the back of, I would say, an unbelievable attempt to claim this round back from some dire situations. A minute 30 wasted up on that top floor. And when you do compare it to what's happened right now, Order have got a lot of control from what they needed in terms of that first floor. They're starting to branch out, specifically down toward blue.
They're going to have to start getting their skates on, though, because they've burned out the last 2 minutes, essentially, and there's still a lot of work to be done here. Elevate's still sitting pretty in quite a few big positions. That being said, Pillar has essentially been cleared out right here, so this is a really important step for Order. The next one is going to be to clear out Sapper, and that's when Nico now is moving in deep. Napier tries to clear the air jab. just eats it instead, and up he goes.
Yeah, this could be really dangerous. DCH holding strong as well. It's all falling apart here for Order in this final round for their opportunities. They cannot lose this, and look at this from Napier. I'm sure that if they can keep Napier alive, he's going to completely dismember every player for Order. Oh, have they noticed him yet? Bailey with a really sharp shot. 30 seconds left, and Order are making this happen.
They really are, but Elevate here to stand up. 25 seconds. Order pushing to site. Nico has diffuser in hand. He's probably going to go for a plant in at the B site, but Elevate holding some nice deep positions, just waiting for it here, Manic.
Onigiri and a Smoke Babe as well. Sorry, the Goomline and the Smoke Babe might well push Nico out of position. He's going to have to go aggressive here. Onigiri, can he hold firm? Nico finds one. A great trade from Onigiri. Can he stay alive? No, there's no time. It's run out, and Elevate pull away with the win. What on earth is that for a final round?
Down to the wire, that's what that was, but Elevate, they're the ones that have come out on top here. A massive victory for them. Order really took the fight to Elevate. Considering it was Oregon, you know, we thought this might be a bit of a whitewash, but a 7-4 scoreline, not too bad, but not good enough for Order. And Elevate are going to take home the 3 points.
Big 3 points as well. That kind of kickstarts their campaign after a bit of a rocky start. 7-3 against Chiefs, a loss.